This is a book of interlinked short stories, and like poetry, you don't have to read all of it, the whole book at the same time. You can read one at a time, and they're each little stories, and you can just read one every few days, and it's really nice to approach a book like that. There's no pressure, and they're interconnected, but at the same time they're all contained. So that's one reason. Second, it's a book about cities. It's my ode to New York, and it's my ode to Calcutta. And if you love cities, if you love New York or Calcutta or just cities in general, this is a book for you. It's also a book about women, strong women, failed women, women who want more in their lives, women, differences between women, social differences between women. So discontent, people who people who are just not content with their lives. So if these sort of subjects are things that you are interested in, then this is a book for you. My fondest memory of childhood is driving with my father at 6 in the morning. Every morning we used to both go play tennis, and he would drive. The only time he would drive during the day, and it was just him and me, no one else in the family. And we would talk about tennis, or sometimes I would listen to things on the cassette player, like stories. But it was his and my time together, and that was very special. My favorite place in Calcutta is the India Coffee House, which has been around for decades and is still unchanged, is very much the same. Their toast, which is the trashiest and the most yummiest toast I've ever had. It's thick, it's about 3 inches, 4 inches thick, lathered with butter that smells of coconut, and is so good in a trashy way. I still crave it. In New York, my favorite place is the KGB bar in the East Village. It's somewhere I used to go as a student at NYU. All the bartenders and everyone who worked there are very close and dear friends of mine. I still go there. I used to have breakfast there, lunch there, dinner there, help them set up the bar, and it's sort of a home away from home for me. And it's still the only unchanged place in a part of the neighborhood and a part of New York that's changed drastically. So I'm glad for that. I moved to New York in 1996 for college, and the minute I stepped out of the flight, I knew I would never go back to India at all. I was adamant I would never go back to India at all. New York to me represented freedom, a kind of freedom I never had growing up in Calcutta. It was a place where you could be anyone, you could be no one, and I was very thankful for that. The Calcutta I know now is very different, of course. I had learned, discovering Calcutta as an adult is a different city altogether. And she's a sad city, she's a dying city, and that makes me sad. New York, on the other hand, is full of positivity and hope and all the things that Calcutta is, and they're very, very opposite. And I think, I don't know if that comes across in the book, but certainly Calcutta is represented as memories in the book, and New York to me New York in the book is about freedom and letting go. I started writing the title story, Not Quite a Disaster After All, when I was doing my master's in England. And Anjali, the main character, sort of stuck in my head. My supervisor told me she was the most nastiest character. She's like, oh my God, you can't make this woman so unlikable. And I had to make her I actually toned her down a bit. But I like the fact that she's unlikable, but she has a fragile, fractured side inside her. And that stuck with me. I like discovering all the things that make her fragile and sensitive, which she doesn't show the world. And I think that inspired me, that exploration of her inspired me to write subsequent stories. Yeah, that's how it... I didn't really plan on using Anjali for all the stories, but then my first editor at HarperCollins sort of noticed a commonality between all my narrators, and so I realized that I was spending a lot of time hiding the fact that they were all Anjali in different incarnations, and that's how the book became. The writing itself has never been challenging. I love writing. It's difficult, but it's a really lovely stress. So I can't say any of it. I mean, when I start writing a story, I'm always very stressed about how it's going to end. Often I know before the ending how it's going to end, and a lot of times I don't. That to me is always very stressful. Oh my God, how's it going to end? How's it going to end? How am I going to end it? You know, that has always been stressful. But even now, after writing so many stories, I can't say it's fun. It's nice. It's fun to see how it'll turn out. You know, it's a puzzle. It becomes a puzzle. None of it is challenging. I think all the things around publishing I find challenging, like finding an agent, getting published, getting rejections. That is all horrible. You know, social media, all of that is horrible. How to publicize, just promote yourself on social media is horrible. Writing on your own is really nice. Write what you feel comes out of you. Don't let anyone tell you, don't write this, don't write that. Don't write short stories, write a novel, write the big India novel. Don't do that. Don't listen to people. Write what comes naturally to you and what's your gut instinct. Follow your gut instinct. And show it to people that you admire, whose work you respect, but don't listen to everyone. Hi, I'm Buku Sarkar, and this is my debut book, Not Quite a Disaster After All. I hope you read it and enjoy it.